Okay, so let's begin by bringing our attention to our bodies in this new standing position. So noticing how it feels to have our feet in contact with the ground. And just to sense the texture of the flooring underneath us, or if you're wearing shoes or socks, then the textures of the fabric material that your skin is in touch with, and just to tune in to this sense of ground. And just maybe to experience the sensations in other regions of our body. So as if we're maybe just practicing a body scan, just very briefly, bringing attention from the feet upwards through the body. Bringing awareness to the whole body as we're standing here. And we might feel the sensations of breathing. And knowing that we can return to the sensations of breathing at any time. So we can anchor attention to the sensations of breath or to the feeling of the feet on the ground. This can also be a way to practice grounding, being earthed. So whenever we notice that our mind has wandered away from what we're experiencing, we can come back to these places of anchor within us. And now taking attention to our hands. Just to notice what am I experiencing in my hands at the moment? What sensations are they emitting? Letting them be experienced. Noticing how it's possible to shift our attention from one part of the body to another, just as we practice in the body scan. So changing our experience by the direction, the choice in directing our attention. Receiving the hands just as we're receiving sounds. Now bringing our hands and bringing them up up to our heads, just up to the top of the head, and just inviting you to tap the top of the head with the hands, just the fingers perhaps, as if you were just giving the top of your head a massage. Maybe moving the fingers around the crown, just noticing the different sensations that are produced. And letting the receiving of the sensations be the object of mindfulness. Noticing what's it like to feel our fingers in contact with the top of the head. We can perhaps just be tapping on the top of the head, stroking the head. exploring around the top of the head with the fingertips. Now moving the fingers to the forehead and just tapping around the forehead with the fingertips. Noticing perhaps any differences. Maybe there's a different sound that comes, a different temperature as the fingertips meet the skin here. Moving the fingertips to the temples. And again, a different experience here. And seeing if we can just come back to this moment, this set of feeling tones. Moving around the eyes, taking care if you're wearing contact lenses, not to knock them out. Just exploring around the eyes, just gently stroking, tapping, just a light touch, and receiving this light touch, noticing what it's like. The attention focused center stage in the face here. Moving around to the nose, tapping on the nose. And the cheeks. So letting each part of the body that we're touching here be received, tuning into its experience, being interested in the unfolding of this experience as it happens. To the ears now, just tapping around the ears. There might be increased sounds, or increased volume of sound as we tap around the ears, even the earlobes. And round to the mouth. Lips, chin. And when we notice our minds have wandered into thinking about what's going on, we can just use that as a reminder. Oh, thinking's happening. My attention's wandered to that. Let me come back to the feeling tones in my body, in my chin, and now my neck. Just tapping around the neck. Gently around the throat. Just letting this part of the body be spoken to and speak in return through the experience of sensing. So noticing how we're in relationship to our bodies here, as we're in touch, literally in touch. The back of the neck as well as the front of the neck. Sometimes this can be a region where we can experience tightness. Shoulders. And now just inviting you to let go of the tapping and just to take your left hand and place it on the right shoulder and just maybe a few gentle little karate chops on the shoulder. Just very gentle, so we're not trying to hurt ourselves, but just like we're giving ourselves a gentle massage around this shoulder region. If there's any tensing in the shoulder that we notice, we can just let the shoulder drop, just to be interested in the experience of this. And bringing the right arm down, bringing the left arm rather down the right, left hand down the right arm, and just patting perhaps. discovering each part of the body as we meet it with our hand. To the back of the hand, noticing the sounds changing again. The clapping the palm. All the while maintaining as best we can an awareness of the changing of sensations, the different feedback that we receive from these parts of our body. Can maybe massage the fingers, tap the fingers. Our only task here to receive the feeling time. So we're in being mode, arriving in our bodies moment by moment, coming back from any identification with commentary about what's going on or what's it for or why this movement or that movement. Seeing if we can just stay with the feeling time, maybe moving back up the arm. And then when we reach the shoulders again, we can just swap hands and arms. So moving the other hand over to the other shoulder, and just again, same again, just gently tapping, massaging around the shoulder, left shoulder, if that's the if you started with the right. It doesn't really matter which order. And patting down this arm, down to the hand, the palms, massaging each finger, perhaps just giving each finger a few moments of your friendly attention, seeing this as an act of love for yourself, just being in touch with yourself. And moving back up this arm. Now moving to the chest region. So maybe just a little bit like we're being Tarzan, gently beating around the chest. And exploring the torso, the upper torso, and down into the solar plexus region, belly, the sides, and round to the back. We probably won't reach the upper back, but we can maybe massage around the kidneys, just patting the kidneys, the lower back. Just noticing what's it like to be in touch with ourselves in this way, moment by moment. We can move to the bottom, just patting the buttocks, and the hips, hip region. And now choosing a leg. So I'm going to go with my right hands to the left leg. You can start with whichever leg you like to, and just being in contact. A bit like we're just saying hello to each part of the body. And if it's okay to bend down, just to gently bend the knees perhaps as we come down towards the foot. In touch with the ankle, in touch with the Achilles heel, the front of the foot and the toes. This can be through shoes and socks if you're wearing shoes and socks. The sides of the foot. And slowly coming back up this leg. and seeing if you can treat each tap as with beginner's mind. So each tap, each connection of the hands with the body is new, fresh, a different experience. Coming back up this leg and moving over to the other side now, giving the other side of your body some attention. Like we're greeting an old friend here. Hello, my old friend, right thigh. Noticing the different qualities of being harder or softer to the touch as we are in contact with flesh and bone and muscle. Really being interested in the quality of this body that we are in and that we are aware of at the same time as we meet it. It's an amazing capacity to be conscious of being in a body. Toes here, sides of the foot. And gradually coming back up this side of the body. Now just letting our hands just drop down by our sides now. So coming back into standing still. And just to drink in the experience of this moment. Just to let there be stillness after this movement. And to notice any changes that have occurred. What's actually happening now? Maybe there's some after effects of the tapping and the patting in the hands or in other parts of the body that we've been in touch with. Just to drink in the whole of this body. Remembering that we have the anchors of breathing and the feet on the ground to come back to when we notice the mind wandering away. Now, seeing about shifting your body weight from left to right side. So just with the feet planted, just beginning to sway from one side to the other. If this is okay for you, and remembering that you're in charge, so if at any time the body says, no, this is not what's needed for me at the moment, then you're encouraged to make that choice. Just to, a bit like a sort of clock pendulum, just swaying from one side to the other, and noticing perhaps the different feeling tones in the feet as more and less weight come onto them. Just to let your mind go with the body in movement, being fully embodied here in this sway, being curious as to the nature of the experience. And now inviting us to bring the arms into this sway. So just swinging the arms, if we have space for this, just from side to side. And it can be a small swing if we don't have a lot of space, or our arms aren't feeling like they want to be swinging a lot. Or we can make it more of a bigger swing. Letting the mind follow the movement of the swinging. letting go into the swing. So as if we're not needing to try to swing the arms, but just going with the flow of the feeling, going with the energy of the body. And now just coming back into stillness again. So just letting the swing come to an end. And again, just checking in with the feeling tones of this body now, and the after effects of the moving that we can be in touch with. And if there are thoughts about what's going on, judgments, memories, future plans that come up in the mind, that's very normal for that to happen. And just when we notice it, to acknowledge it, say, oh, look, there's thinking happening. Well done for noticing it. And just coming back to the anchor of this body now in the present moment. And so, having moved on the horizontal plane, now just seeing about moving our bodies on the vertical plane. So just lowering the tailbone with an out breath. So when we breathe out, just letting the body drop down, maybe just a couple of inches downwards, bending the knees. And as we breathe in, coming back up into standing tall. So going with the flow of the breath, breathing out, dropping, breathing in, rising. And just getting into the flow, letting our bodies move into the flow of this, our minds going with the experience of the body. What happens? There are places in the body where we may feel some extension or some pressure. Seeing about now bringing the hands into this movement. So rising up with the hands in front of our bodies, round about up to chest level. And then as we drop down, the knees bending, coming down to around about the waist level. So just letting the wrists be soft here. So we can just let the hands float up and float down. Letting the elbows be slightly bent. And just feeling into this flow, a bit like our hands are just like rising and falling waves in the ocean. And still be synchronized with the breath, but not making a big deal of this, just letting the breath guide us. Out breath, lowering, in breath, rising. Not needing to worry about what anybody else is doing or how their experience is, just to be with ourselves, our own body in movement, and attending to this body in movement. And seeing about just expanding this movement now. So when the arms rise and they move up to chest level, also opening them. So an expanding to the sides and bringing them back in and down. So this might facilitate a longer breath. Just let the breath decide what it wants to do. Rising and opening. This movement in Qigong is called opening to the world. Just opening to the world. And coming back. chest expanding with the opening. Just letting whatever sensations come into the body be experienced. This isn't intended particularly to be a pleasant experience or an unpleasant experience, so we can just let it be whatever it is for us. And now just bringing the arms down. Coming back to the standing position. And for this next movement, we're going to bring the arms up across the upper body once again. This time as a crossing motion. So bringing the hands up and just crossing the wrists. So the wrists coming to meet as we raise the arms upwards, and then as we reach our shoulder level, maybe just above the shoulders, turning the palms outwards and opening to a circle. And as we move our bodies down, so the tailbone lowering, it's as if we're coming to scoop up the air from below, crossing the wrists, opening the palms as the hands come to around about head level and opening to a circle, and then just coming to flow into this movement as best we can. It's not something we need to perfect or try to get right. Remembering that the experience is just about being in touch with our bodies as they move, and in some sense the postures are incidental. So we're just playing with moving in this way, scooping up, hands rising in front of us and coming down. Perhaps an in-breath as we rise, and then as we expand and open, letting the breath move out. And just seeing about just following as we become perhaps familiar with the movement, just to let it happen. To feel our body working in union, mind and body and breath, arms and legs, the whole body moving. And if you have space for this, we'll move into a final moving sequence. So continuing with the hands rising and circling, and just bringing your left foot forward one step if that's possible, or half a step if that's not possible, and coming forwards on bringing our weight onto the left foot, and then as we open up into the circling, just bringing the weight of the body back to the right foot. So we're just pendulating forwards and down to the left foot, and then back as we raise the arms and open out, bringing our weight back onto the right foot. You might find that the heel of the right foot comes off the ground as you lean forward, and the toes of the left foot come off the ground as you lean back. So just having a play with this. Otherwise, the same movement as we were practicing before. Breathing out as we open and come down, breathing in to rising. Just to let your body flow into this movement as best you can. And to be interested in the qualities of the experience that are unfolding moment by moment. Maybe places of tensing, places of relaxing, maybe stretching, tones. If we feel like a movement is too much, our body gives us a sharp sensation, that's usually a sign just to make the movement smaller, or we can stop and just visualize the movement happening. So continuing to listen to the feedback from our bodies as we make the movement and adjusting accordingly to listening to our body rather than our mind, which might tell us we should be doing it a different way, harder or faster or not so much. So seeing if we can let our bodies give us its messages and tuning into them. Maybe a few more of these. Now just bringing our body back to standing, and this time just bringing the right foot forward. So we'll just make the same movement on the other side, but bringing the right foot forward and scooping down in front, maybe bending the right knee as we come forward, and opening as the body weight shifts back onto the left foot. So we're just working with this as best we can in this moment. Letting whatever comes up in our experience be the practice. Whatever comes up, our relationship to it is the practice. So bringing a relationship of friendly interest, coming back to the body again and again. So at the end of this next stretch, just coming back to standing. So bringing the right foot back parallel with the left foot, standing on the ground. Perhaps just tuning into the feeling of the undersides of the feet on the ground, or whatever the feet are wearing, if they're wearing anything. If you'd like to, closing the eyes now, just coming to rest in our whole body standing here. What's happening now? What is my experience of this body, this moment, this mind, whatever thoughts and feelings are arising, letting these be noted and met with friendliness. Noticing how we're coming from this place of awareness that's bigger than the thoughts and feelings that are arising, and that they can notice them, can house them. We're just being embodied and aware in this body, of this body, just as things are. Breathing happening all by itself. All of the body's inner workings happening all by themselves. You don't need to try to make our heart beat or our breath come and go. You can just let go into the majesty of this being in the body, the mystery of being in the body, marvel of being in the body. Whether this body is currently feeling a pleasant place to be or an unpleasant place to be, still amazing in our very being here at all and being conscious of this. So letting that be enough, just for now. When we're ready to, when you're ready to, you might like to open your eyes again. Just expand from this inner focus in the body to include the spaces around us, to open up our eyes to see and hear, still maintaining some attention in our bodies, a 50-50 awareness, if you like. Some of our attention remaining in the body and expanding to the body in contact with the world, receiving the world around us in this body. If there's a particular stretch you want to give yourself, then feel free to stretch your body in that way. Maybe there's a part of the body that would like to move. Or if your body would like a drink of water, or needs to remove or add clothing, just asking yourself, what does my body need right now? And seeing if this can be fulfilled in any way, as perhaps we begin now to bring ourselves back into a sitting posture, just returning to our screens as they were before.
Sorry, we